Hello, everyone, and welcome back to SpeakEasyStarter. I'm Lexi, and I'm so glad you're here with us today because we're about to have one of those cozy, easygoing talks that always make my day.
Hey there, it's Max here. And first I want to say, if you've pressed play, you've already done something good for your English listening skills. So thank you for trusting us with your ears and your time. How are you doing today? Lexi.
I'm doing all right, Max. But actually, lately I've noticed I've been feeling a bit slower and more tired than usual. And I keep thinking maybe it's because I've gotten out of some of my healthy habits. You ever feel like that?
Oh, I really get that. It's like sometimes you just stop doing the little things that used to keep you feeling good. And it's easy not to notice until suddenly your body starts to complain a little bit. So maybe today is the perfect time to talk about those simple habits that can really help us all feel better.
Absolutely. And honestly, I love that we're not talking about extreme changes or crazy routines, because sometimes even the word healthy makes people think of strict diets or waking up before sunrise. But really, it's more about those small choices, right?
For sure. It's those simple things that actually stick with you. Like the stuff you can do every day without needing a whole new life schedule. And Lexi, I used to believe I needed to make big changes to be healthier, but the truth is, small, steady habits make a bigger difference than we think.
That's so true, Max. And maybe we can start with something as simple as moving our bodies every day, like not some impossible workout, but just walking more, or even stretching a little after sitting for a long time.
I totally agree. Movement is one of those things we take for granted until we forget to do it. And suddenly everything feels stiff or heavy. So even just taking the stairs or dancing around in your room can help. And actually, you know what? Sometimes I put on music and just walk around my apartment. It's not about burning calories, it just feels good.
I love that idea, Max. And it reminds me that when I was a kid, I would always run everywhere. But as adults, we start thinking we have to exercise in a certain way or it doesn't count. But really, any movement counts. And sometimes I even challenge myself to stand up during a commercial break or while waiting for my coffee.
That's a good one. And actually, now that I think about it, one of my friends has this habit where every morning before breakfast, she stretches for 5 minutes. And she says it makes her day feel longer in a good way, like she's more awake and ready. And I tried it once, and even though I felt silly at first, I really noticed a difference.
I can totally imagine that, Max, because there's something about starting your day with just a little movement that kind of wakes up everything in your body and your mind, and it doesn't need any special skills. You just listen to your body and see what feels good.
Yes, and it's not about doing things perfectly. It's just about doing them often enough so they start to feel normal for you. And, speaking of feeling good, that actually connects to another thing I always forget about, but it's so important, staying hydrated.
I know exactly what you mean, Max. I can go hours without drinking any water, and then suddenly I realize I'm super thirsty, or I have a headache, and sometimes I even think I'm hungry, but actually my body just needs water.
That happens to me all the time. And honestly, drinking water is one of those healthy habits that sounds too simple, but when you really pay attention to it, you notice the difference it makes in your mood and your energy and even your skin.
Yes, and I noticed when I carry a water bottle with me, I drink a lot more during the day. So now I just keep one on my desk all the time. And you know what else is funny? Sometimes I even add a slice of lemon or a couple of mint leaves just to make it more interesting.
That's a great trick. And sometimes if you're someone who doesn't love the taste of plain water, you can try herbal teas or even just eating fruits with a lot of water in them, like watermelon or oranges, and it still helps.
Exactly, Max. And it's not just about water, right? It's also about paying attention to what we eat. But you know what? I really believe, I think eating healthy should feel friendly and not stressful. I try to think of food as something that supports me, not something to control all the time.
That's so refreshing to hear because there's so much pressure around food these days. And sometimes it feels like people are always telling you what not to eat. But when I started thinking about food as fuel for my life, it actually became easier to make better choices without feeling bad.
That's a great way to see it, Max. And for me, it helps to add more colors to my plate. Like if I see a lot of green, red, or orange, I know I'm probably getting some good stuff. And sometimes I just try new vegetables or fruits, even if I don't know the name, because it's fun and my body thanks me later.
You know, that actually reminds me of when I traveled to another country and I was trying all these different foods. And honestly, it made me realize that eating healthy can also be an adventure. It doesn't have to be boring or strict. It can be about exploring new things and listening to what your body needs.
I love that, Max, and I think sometimes we forget that eating is also about enjoying life and sharing time with other people. Like some of my best memories are having meals with friends or family and laughing and just being together.
That's so true. And actually, when you eat slowly and really enjoy your food, you notice the taste more, and you usually end up feeling full without eating too much. And it's just a nicer experience overall.
Yes, and slowing down during meals also gives your body time to tell you when you've had enough, which is a habit I'm still learning, but it really helps, especially when you're busy and you want to just eat quickly and get back to work.
It's hard to remember sometimes, but you know, when you practice it, even just a little bit, it becomes easier. And that also brings me to another simple habit that gets forgotten a lot, which is sleep.
Oh, yes, Max, I am so guilty of not sleeping enough, especially when I have things to do or when I want to watch one more episode of a show, but you really feel it the next day, don't you?
Absolutely. It's like your brain is moving in slow motion, and even things you normally enjoy feel a bit more difficult. And I used to think I could just catch up on weekends, but actually getting enough sleep every night is so much better for your body.
And I read somewhere that having a bedtime routine helps your body know it's time to rest, like turning off bright lights or listening to quiet music before sleeping. And honestly, when I do that, I fall asleep much faster.
That works for me too. And sometimes I even put my phone away about 30 minutes before bed so I don't get distracted. And you know what? It's actually nice to have a little quiet time before sleeping. It makes my dreams better too.
That's such a peaceful idea, Max. And it's funny because all these habits are so simple, but when you put them together, they really change how you feel and think during the day.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You just try to do your best most days, and your body really appreciates it. And speaking of things your body appreciates, I think we should talk about getting outside, because I feel better whenever I spend time in nature, even if it's just a few minutes.
I know what you mean, Max, because sometimes I feel like the walls are getting closer when I stay inside all day, and just walking outside or sitting in the sun for a bit can totally change my mood. It's like the world feels bigger again.
That's true. And there's something about the fresh air or just hearing the birds that helps me relax. And sometimes if I'm having a stressful day, I just go for a short walk in a park, and it's like a reset button for my mind.
Yes, Max. And sometimes even opening the window and looking at the sky for a minute helps when I can't go outside. And you know what else helps my mood and energy? Being around people who make me feel good.
Oh, definitely, Lexi. I always feel more positive after spending time with friends or family, and even a quick phone call or message makes a difference. And it's so easy to forget that our social connections are also part of our health.
You know, I really agree, Max, and sometimes when I feel low, I realize I haven't talked to anyone all day. So I try to reach out even if it's just to say hello, and it helps remind me I'm not alone.
That's a really important point, because taking care of your health isn't only about what you eat or how much you exercise, it's also about how you feel inside. And being connected to other people is a big part of that.
And it's funny because sometimes just helping someone else or being kind makes me feel healthier too. Like I get a little energy boost from doing something nice for someone, even if it's something small.
Me too. And I think that's a great habit to remember because being kind is free and it makes the world feel a bit softer. And speaking of feeling good inside, I wanted to ask, do you ever practice being thankful or writing down things you're grateful for?
Max, I do sometimes, especially when I'm having a tough week. And I try to write down 3 things I'm thankful for each night. And it actually helps me sleep better because my mind feels more peaceful.
I love that idea. And honestly, it's such an easy habit to start because you don't need anything special, just a piece of paper or even your phone. And it really does make you notice the good things in your day.
And sometimes it's really small things like a nice cup of coffee or a friendly smile from a stranger. But when you pay attention, you realize there's always something positive, even on a difficult day.
That's so true. And actually, that kind of thinking makes it easier to keep up with other healthy habits because you feel better about your life and your choices, and you're not just focused on what you need to fix.
Yes, Max. And I think when you're gentle with yourself and celebrate your little wins, you're more likely to stick with healthy habits without feeling pressure or stress.
Absolutely. And I think we've covered so many good habits today. But I want to ask you, Lexi, if you could only keep one healthy habit, which one would it be?
Oh, wow, that's such a hard question, Max. But I think I would choose sleep. Because when I get enough rest, everything else feels easier and I make better choices all day. What about you?
For me, it would probably be drinking water. Because when I remember to stay hydrated, my brain works better and I even feel more positive. It's amazing how something so simple can change your whole day.
It really is. And maybe that's the best message from today, Max, that small, simple habits make the biggest difference over time. And it's okay to start slow or pick one thing to focus on first.
Yes, and if anyone listening feels overwhelmed or like they're not doing enough, just remember, even one tiny step is a step forward, and your body will thank you for it.
That's right. And it's not about being perfect or following a strict plan. It's just about finding what feels good for you and enjoying the process of getting a little healthier every day.
And don't forget, you can always start again. Even if you have a lazy day or forget your habits, nobody is perfect, and you can always try again tomorrow.
Exactly, Max. And I really hope everyone listening feels a little more inspired to take care of themselves in a gentle and friendly way after this episode.
Me too, Lexi. And I also hope you know how much we appreciate you for being here and sharing this time with us.
You've just listened to SpeakEasyStarter, where your ears guide your fluency.
Thank you so much for joining us today and for giving us your attention and your energy.
We hope you keep coming back and letting your listening skills grow with us.
Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, even the smallest healthy habit is something to be proud of.
Bye for now, and keep listening to SpeakEasyStarter, where your journey is always welcome.